Hello BookTube, Sarah here, and welcome to my channel. Today I'm coming to you with my Harlequin anticipated reads for November of 2019. I know we're at the very tail end of the month, sorry you guys, but better late than never, right? So this month was a little bit of a weird month with videos. I've missed some, and I know I didn't do my regular anticipated reads, but I definitely want to make sure to do this one because, as per usual, I need you guys to pick me a book. So the way that these work is, I love talking about these. So these are the Harlequin imprints coming out in November of 2019. I go through each of the imprints and I pick my favorite book out of all of them, the ones that sound the most interesting to me. And I'm going to talk to you guys about them. And I want you guys to vote on a book. So if any of these ones, it can be, you can think one sounds fantastic or however many, post in the comments below. I will add up all the votes and I will go ahead and buy that book. And then that is the book I plan to read next month for my 40 Years of Harlequin project. So super stoked, super excited. Please do let me know what you think about these. But the book that won for October, because I know that there are some of you who are reading along with these with me, especially for the 2019 books, is Alaskan Christmas Cold Case by Sarah Varland. So this one is probably going to get read in December because, yeah, this is the October book. So this one will probably get read in December. I'm super, super excited. You guys know if it says Alaska in it, I am all over it. Totally interested. There has been a number of these love-inspired books picked from the 2019 picks, which is very exciting. I think there's at least 3. This might be the 3rd one. So super, super excited. Cannot wait to get to this one. It sounds fantastic. So again, if you are reading along with us, that is the one that is picked for the month of October, and I'm dropping all my things. So you're also going to notice a slight change this month. I have decided to add in the Harlequin Medical Romance and the Harlequin Presents. I used to do the Presents, but then I kind of got rid of them. I do find, to be completely honest, you guys, a lot of them are kind of the same. They're like Secret Baby, Marriage of Convenience, but then again, the more I thought about it, I'm like, that's kind of most of romance. Secret Baby, Marriage of Convenience, it's kind of a thing. So I decided to add them back in because there are usually a few standout ones that sound good. The medical romance I always had issue with because I tend to sometimes get anxiety when I read about medical stuff. But I have tried a few out years ago and I did enjoy them. And I just keep thinking, just give them another try because, you know, you might be missing out on a lot of great stories, you know. And if it is something that starts to bother you, can just put the book down. It's not that big a deal. You know, it's not like I have I have high anxiety from it. I just, you know, would probably need to close the book and walk away, you know. And usually it only happens with stuff that's cardiac related, which is what I dealt with my own medical issues. So all that being said, there are 2 new imprints that we're going to talk about. They're not new. They are old to Harlequin, but new to these lists. So from all these books I'm about to mention, let me know which one you guys think is the most interesting. So we're going to start off with a Harlequin desire novel, and this is Hot Holliday Rancher by Kathleen Mann. This is book number 9 in the Texas Cattlemen's Club Houston series. This is about a man who decides to hire a matchmaker because he is looking to get married. And a storm kind of blows in. Along with this storm, in comes this woman. And I guess she's been displaced with the storm or her car broke down or something like that. But she needs his help, essentially, to get out of this storm or whatever it is that she's in. So, of course, forced proximity story. The 2 of them spend time together. One thing leads to another. Sounds adorable. Sounds delightful. I do love the Desire books. They really, in a way, remind me a lot of the Blaze novels, but to a you know, higher class, if you will, like, and that's not for anything, but typically the Blaze novels tended to be more the working class kind of stories. Not always, you know, sometimes you've got billionaires and businessmen, but I find the Desire just kicks that up a notch. But it does remind me of the Blaze novels, and I think that's why I do enjoy them so much. The next one is a heartwarming story, a Harlequin heartwarming, and this is The Firefighter's Thanksgiving Wish by Anna J. Stewart. This is book number 7 in the Butterfly Harbor series, and this is about 2 people who work for the fire department and how they find love. And she is actually up for promotion to be like the chief in the fire department, I guess, and she is kind of, you know, pushed aside for that for this guy. and her and this guy end up having a relationship, but it's kind of one of those, you know, she should have gotten that promotion, or really should she, or is she being discriminated against in a way? I don't know. Sounds good. It's about firefighters. Now, it's not holiday related. Most of these books are. There are, I think, 2 of them that are not. This is one of them. But it is, in a way, it's a holiday because it's Thanksgiving, which is in November in the US. So, yeah, it sounds fun. Female firefighter sounds very, very interesting, and I definitely want to read this one. Next up, we have a Harlequin historical, and this is Miss Lottie's Christmas Protector by Sophie James. I'm a big fan of Sophie James' writing. When I saw she had a new book, I got super excited. This is book number 1 in the Secrets of a Victorian Household series, and that's what really got me with this one. I looked at the cover and I'm like, oh, Regency? Nope. It's a Victorian novel. It takes place in Victorian England. I cannot wait. So this one is about a woman who runs a house for destitute women, and she is looking for a missing woman. And so she gets this entrepreneur by the name of Jasper to help her try and locate this woman. And he is trying to stay out of his matchmaking mama's clutches. Like, his mother's trying to set him up, and he just wants none of it. So I'm thinking this might end up being a relationship of convenience story, but the fact it is a Victorian romance, I do love a Regency. You guys know I love a Regency, but I don't know, there's just something about Victorian England that just grabs me even more. And this would have been perfect for Victober. Yes, it wasn't written in Victorian times, but it takes place in Victorian times, so it could be like a sub-Victober, if you will. But yeah, this one I think sounds utterly delightful, and I cannot wait to read this one. Regardless if you guys pick it or not, I definitely think this one is going to get picked up at some point, sooner rather than later. Next up is Harlequin Intrigue, and here we have Witness in the Woods by Michele Hauf. This is another one that is a non-Christmas or holiday story. This is about a man who is a wildlife officer, and he comes, he hears some shots in the woods, and he goes, and he comes face to face with this woman and her pet wolf. Yes, please. You sold me at the fact that she has a pet wolf. I need to read more about this person. This is also about poachers and other people who do very bad things to animals. So this one might be a slightly more difficult one to read due to the nature of, animal cruelty, I guess. But I'm kind of really interested to see how it's going to be handled. And I am very interested to read more about it. And yeah, I think this one just sounds really interesting, and I'd like to read this one. And here we come up with our Harlequin medical romance. This is Highland Doc's Christmas Rescue by Suzanne Carlisle. This is book number 1 in the Pups That Make Miracles series, so it is something to do with dogs. This story is about a woman who is a search and rescue worker, and she is kind of reeling from the loss of her, what does it say here? Her faithful rescue dog. So she is dealing with the death of a pet, and any of us who've had to go through that know how brutally difficult that is. So already I feel for this character, and I haven't even read this story yet. But she ends up in this clinic, and she ends up having a romance with this clinic doctor. And he has some therapy puppies that he's kind of raising. So she's kind of helping him, and that's kind of helping heal her heart after the loss of her own dog. And, but towards the end, of course, at some point, she's going to have to return back to America. I believe the story takes place in New Zealand, it sounds like. And, it's kind of like those, or is he going to ask her to stay? It sounds delightful. Does it say Christmas? Yeah, so it is a Christmas story. It involves puppy dogs. I'm very, very intrigued to read this one. And I think it sounds delightful. And I think it also sounds heartwarming and heartbreaking all at once. And just that perfect mix for a Christmas story. Next, we come to our Pretense novel. And this is The Italian's Christmas Proposition by Cathy Williams. So this one is about a man. What is he? He has one goal this Christmas: to land the deal of his career. So he is some sort of a, big business kind of guy. And he's got this big deal that he's about to deal with, essentially. And he ends up having to rescue this woman from something. I don't know what. It doesn't really say. So, but when he rescues her, comes to her aid, it puts this deal of his in jeopardy. So in order to rectify the situation, for some reason, he decides to make her his fake fiance. So again, as I said, most of the Present stories take place about secret baby or fake relationship. This is a fake relationship one, but it does sound interesting. I'm just intrigued to find out why that would make a difference. And also it sounds like he's trying to keep his family from setting him up. You know, it's the holiday. He's going to bring this woman home for the holidays and be like, hey, look, I'm engaged. Stop throwing women at me. That kind of an idea. You know what I mean? So these are quick, easy novels. I mean, I do enjoy them. The ones that I've read, I used to not, but I'm finding as I'm getting older, I'm enjoying them more and more. Maybe it's because of the whole billionaire aspect and, you know, being married to a billionaire does not sound like a bad thing, depending on, you know, his personality, because that makes a difference too. But, you know, money talks, people, money talks. But this one does sound cute. And, you know, I think it might be one that I would pick up regardless. So again, if you guys don't pick it up, pick it for me. It might be one that I might pick up at Harlequin on my next trip over there. Next up, we have a Harlequin romance. And I kind of love this one because, while it is the fake relationship trope, it's not the fiance or wife trope. This one is called Her Convenient Christmas Date by Barbara Wallace. And this is about a couple who are kind of dealing with Christmas, and their friends are all coupled up and their families and, you know, pushing them to find people. So they decide to be each other's dates, just dates for the holiday season. You know, I have a Christmas party at work, so you're going to come with me as my date and what have you. And I just love the simplicity of it. I think that's what really grabbed me. I just thought it sounded cute and adorable. And of course, over the course of the holiday season, they're going to end up falling for each other and perhaps start going on real dates as opposed to fake dates. It just sounds so cute. He's an ex-footballer, it says. It doesn't say football player, so my assumption is soccer. But yeah, it just sounds delightful. Cute, sweet, Christmas. What more could you ask for? Next, we have a Harlequin romantic suspense, and this is Her Dark Web Defender by Dana Nussio. This is book number 4 in the True Blue series. This is the last of the books that do not deal with the holiday season. The last, how many? 1, 2, 3 are also all holiday books as well. But this one deals with cybersecurity and a woman trying to, what does she do? She is a state trooper, and she joins a special agent task force determined to bring down a cyber criminal preying on young children. Definitely a very important thing to do. And while she's working on this case, she is hoping to find out more information about her best friend's abduction. So I'm totally intrigued by this one. Sounds really interesting. Looks really interesting. I kind of love the whole cybersecurity aspect of it. I think that's something very prevalent nowadays. And yeah, this is definitely one that I could absolutely see myself picking up at some point. Next up, we have a Harlequin special edition novel. This one sounds so cute. A Downhome Savannah Christmas by Nancy Robards Thompson. I love this author so much. She is definitely a favorite of mine for the special edition books. This is book number 1 in the Savannah Sister series. So this one obviously takes place in Savannah, Georgia, and it is about a woman who comes home for the holidays. And when she comes home, she runs into who is he? A man by the name of Daniel. She does not have a very good history with Daniel, because it turns out that Daniel is the one responsible for breaking up her and her ex-fiance. So, of course, truths are probably going to be revealed, and the two of them maybe begin a romance. It just sounds like they have so much baggage that they would have to work through that I'm totally interested to see how it would play out. And, you know, as much as I love Christmas stories, even though I live in Canada, so, you know, typically we have cold weather over the holidays. I always love reading about stories that take place in warmer climates over Christmas, to see exactly how the town decorates without the lack of snow. Although we haven't had snow most of the last few years for Christmas, but I think you know what I'm talking about. I just love the idea. The cover looks adorable. The idea of the story sounds great. Very interested in this one. Next up, we have a love-inspired book, and this is Hometown Christmas Gift by Kat Brookes. This one sounds utterly delightful. This is about a widow with her young son, and she asks her old ex-boyfriend to kind of help her out with her troubled son. He's really still grieving the loss of his father, and so, you know, this ex-boyfriend, and now friend, I should say, takes her son under his wing. And the two of them start to bond, and I just love that idea of, you know, a child, especially at the holidays, being able to bond with another adult after the loss of someone important in their life. I just think that's just like the true spirit of Christmas in a way. And of course, that's what these love-inspired books kind of are all about. If you didn't know, if you're new, the love-inspired books are Christian fiction novels, and they are wonderful. Obviously, sweet stories, no adult content, nothing questionable in nature. They are just good, wholesome books that anyone can enjoy and read, and this one just sounds like a great Christmas story. I mean, if you are really looking for books that, exemplify the true meaning of Christmas, absolutely check out the Love Inspired books. And, October, November, and December, the shelves are just filled with the Love Inspired, and they're all mostly holiday books, and they're all delightful. And the last book, of course, is a Love Inspired suspense. Again, it's a Christian fiction romance, but it's a suspense. And this one is Deadly Christmas Pretense by Dana Mentink. This is book number 2 in the Rough Water Ranch Cowboy series. This is about a woman who, over the Christmas holidays, is posing as her twin sister. And someone is after her, so that's kind of why she's posing as her sister. And she runs into her sister's ex-boyfriend. And he's going to kind of help her out, believing it is her sister. And, but of course the two of them start a relationship. I don't know. It just sounds interesting, and I'm like, totally like, how you'd pull that off, and at what point do you admit to him that this is who I actually am? I'm not who you think I am, kind of an idea. I don't know. Sounds really, really interesting. As I mentioned, these love-inspired suspense books seems to be the ones that a lot of people are kind of gravitating towards, and they are really, really good. I love that even in the midst of danger, with the intrigue and the romantic suspense novels, I love those as well. But the characters tend to always fall into bed or end up in some sort of a physical relationship while in the midst of some sort of a crisis. And in my opinion, if I was running for my life, I think that romance would be the last thing I'd be thinking about. So even though there is a romantic element in these, the physical relationship isn't there, and it's purely emotion. So that's why these ones are just, really, really nice to read. And they're a nice change of pace from the typical, heavily saturated in the physical relationship romance novels. As I said already, they are absolutely delightful. So anyway, guys, that is all that I have for this video. I do hope that you enjoyed it. Please, again, let me know in the comments below, which book should I pick? Let me know. And I am super, super excited. I'm super excited about adding back in the medical and the presents. So yes, I do these every month, and I am doing it in a way to get these books for my 40 Years of Harlequin project. But I will be continuing it into 2020, not the 40 Years of Harlequin project, but I will be doing something else to do with my Harlequin books, and I'll talk about that more in December. But yeah, anyway, guys, that is all that I have for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. Take care and happy reading. Bye, everybody.